This is a 7th grade lesson, surface area, lesson 2, surface area of prisms. All right, so when Jamie is tasked with wrapping an 8 by 8 by 8 inch size box for a birthday party, she only has 250 square inches of wrapping paper. How could you determine if Jamie has enough wrapping paper to cover the box? So if you want to think about this, go ahead and pause the video. If not, continue on if you're not sure how to do this. So Jamie has a box, and if you undo the box, you get a net that looks like this. We talked about nets yesterday, and each net is a square, and pretend that actually looks like squares. Each one of these would be an 8 by 8, so that means each one of these would be 64 inches. The next thing you would do is 64. There are 6 of them, so 64 times 6 is 24, 2, 36, 384 inches squared is how much she would need. So Jamie did not have enough for her present to wrap. So surface area is the total covering on the faces of a three-dimensional object. It is measured in square units. Square units. So for example, wrapping paper. You can also talk about, cardboard for a box. It could be shingles for a roof. It could be siding for a house. Surface area is very useful for many things. All right, so we have a rectangular prism, and this is the net that happens when you unfold this. Notice over here that this is an 11 by 4 by 3. So these are not square. This bottom is not square. So that means that A and C are the same, and B and D are the same, and E and F are the same. So let's kind of take a peek. This one right here is going to be 11. This one here is a 4. And this side here is a 3. So that makes this a 3, this a 4, and this one is also a 3, and this one is also a 4. So A and C are the same. We'll start with A and C. So A and C is 11 by 4. So that means each one of those is 44. And B is a 3 by 11, because the same length here, 3 by 11, 3 by 11. So we have 33 and 33. And E and D is a 3 by 12, 3 by 4, and it equals 12. 3 by 4 again, and it equals 12. To get the total surface area, now I add them all up. And when I add them all up, I get 178. And these are in centimeters right here, squared. Okay. Number 1 here. So we're looking at decomposing this net. Decompose means to break it apart and complete the table. So we have 3 different shapes here. So we have, let's call this shape 1. So this one and this one is shape 1. And it's a rectangle, so it's base times height. And we'll call this one shape 2. This is also a rectangle, base times height. And we'll call this one 3. And this is also a rectangle, base times height. They just have different different measurements, dimensions. So shape 1, we said, is this one. So it's a 12. And here's the middle size by 15 by 8. 15 by 8. And then we have a shape 2, which is only 3 by 15. And then we have the last one, which is a 8 by 3. So that's 24. That's 45. 8 times 5 is 15. I got to do it out. 120. Okay? So if we add those all together, remember we're going to have to times it by 2 once we do that, because there's 2 of each of them, times 2. Times 2. And when we do all that, we get 378. And again, these are meters squared. So, what do you notice about the different faces of the rectangular prism? Well, every one of them uses base times height as their formula. So they're all rectangles. We just had to use the different dimensions. All right, lateral surface area is a little bit different, but not really. Lateral surface area is the sum of all the areas of the surfaces of a solid except the bases. So, for instance, the lateral surface area here is this part. They're considering this and this a base. Same thing on this one. This end and this end is the base. So we are not including those. So what is the lateral surface minus those? So when we go ahead and do that one, we have a 5 by 4.2. We have 2 of those. So we're going to do that times 2. And then we have a 2.9 times 5. And again, there's 2 of those times 2. And we're going to multiply those out and add them together. And we get 71 centimeters squared. And you can go ahead and do that on your calculator. And then to find the total surface area, whoops, put my eraser on. I'm going to erase that. We're going to add in the 2 bases. And the bases are 2.9 times 4.2. And again, there's 2 of those, so I'll multiply those by 2. And then we're going to add that to the 71, and our total is going to be 95.36 centimeters squared. The next one, find the lateral. So we're going to do all the sides around except the top and the bottom. So we have 2 8 by 2.5. So 2 of them. And we have 2 that are 4 by 8. And then we're also going to multiply those by 2. And that's going to be our lateral surface area. And if you stop the video and multiply them all out and add them, stop the video, do that, and I'll tell you what the answer is. It's 104 inches squared. And now we're going to add the bases to that. So we have a 4 by 2.5. And there's 2 of those. And if we take that and add it to 104, we get 124 inches squared. So number 4 says all of the surfaces of the cube net below are being painted. How many square feet will be covered? Well, again, they're all going to be painted. So if this is 4, this is, whoops. This is also, well, my pen's getting a little out of control here. This side is also 4, okay? So a 4 by 4 is 16. Remember, each one of these would be 16, and the shortcut would be just to multiply 16 by 6, which is 36, 3, so 96 feet squared. The next one, Jarell is using butcher paper to cover 4 faces of the cube. If Jarell will not cover the bases, how many square inches of butcher paper will he need? So there are 6 altogether. If you take 2 bases off, you have 4 sides, and each side is 3.5 times 3.5. So when you multiply those all together, you get 49 inches squared. All right, in the last one, 2 students were asked to determine the total surface area of a rectangular prism. Neither of the students correctly completed the task. Determine what mistake each student made. So we know this end is 25, right? And this end is 25. And each side here are 55 inches. So we have 55 4 times. Okay? So the total surface area, if we do this all out, is 55 times 4. and that's 220. So because I figured that out right away, what did Tyson do wrong? Tyson, he didn't add in the bases. Okay? And then if you do add in the bases, which are 25 and 25, we know that the square, that's 50. So the total is 270. So Bella is off by 5. So let's see. I wonder if you did 5 times 5 is 55, and 55 times 5 is 275. So Bella just took the 3 here, and she multiplied, and that's what she did wrong. Okay? Have any questions? Go ahead and let me know, and I'll try to help. If not, go on to your homework. Have a great day.